السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعين به ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله فهو المهتد ومن يضلل فلن تجد له وليا مرشدا. وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله بلغ الرسالة وأدى الأمانة ونصح الأمة وكشف الغمة وجاهد في سبيل الله حق جهاده حتى أتاه اليقين ونحن على ذلك من الشاهدين. أما بعد, جزاكم الله خير. My dear respect brothers and sisters, I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to bless this gathering and make this gathering for his sake. Brothers and sisters, alhamdulillah rabbil alameen, we finished our old series. And today, bi'idhnillah ta'ala, we're going to talk about a new series, bi'idhnillah ta'ala. And I think it have extreme importance. And today, we haven't really addressed this in the past, but today, bi'idhnillah ta'ala, we're going to be talking about the issue of Aqeedah. The issue of Aqeedah. And what is Aqeedah and its importance and what its what is the consequences of having an incorrect Aqeedah. So inshallah we're going to address this with Allah ta'ala today. Brothers and sisters, understand that each and every religion, its basis and it has also a framework part of her basis, a framework that the religion stand on. If this religion base or framework is incorrect, then the rest of the religion is incorrect. If there is issue with the framework of this religion, then this religion is going to affect the overall manifestation of this religion. Yeah, just like, for instance, when we talk about, for instance, a vehicle, it has framework, it have bases, it have things that the vehicle stand on. If this framework is possibly was welded in the incorrect way, or it was imbalanced, or it have some malfunction, what's going to happen? Obviously, the car might run fine, but eventually is not going to operate in the right fashion, because it might go in different direction and might sway to the right or might sway to the left, and it might have some issues with the way it functions internally. Okay, the same thing here when it comes to a religion. Here we're just talking about any religion. So if you look at, for instance, any other religion, for instance, they have base work or framework that they go off of. Okay, and in Islam, brothers and sisters, we have to have the correct Aqeedah, which is what the framework in which that the religion stands on. And that's why it's important that once we try to build a building, once you try to build a building, what is the very first thing that you do when you are building a building? You build its basis, you build its what we call the framework, and then at the end you decorate it. At the end you put up the walls. At the end you fix the kitchen and the bathroom and the tiles and all that good stuff. But initially, the problem that many Muslims tend to do right now, they go after things that are less important, and then they neglect the basis of the religion, So this is here when we talk about Aqeedah. Here we talk about the basis of the religion, and this is have priority over the way the overall framework of the religion. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, brothers and sisters, said, وَمَن يَكْفُرْ بِالْإِيمَانِ فَقَدْ حَبِطَ عَمَلُهُ وَهُوَ فِي الْآخِرَةِ مِنَ الْخَاسِرِينَ. Whoever disbelieve in faith, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, فَقَدْ حَبِطَ عَمَلُهُ. All his deeds are waste. All that this is waste. وَمَن يَكْفُرْ بِالْإِيمَانِ. He could be like, for instance, look at this. Let's say someone he fasts and he prays and he gives charity and he does, but he believes that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wal-'iyadhu billah has a wife, or Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has a son, or Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala be like a human being. So see what happened is, even though you do all these good deeds, but technically the framework is messed up. So therefore, what's going to happen? The rest of your actions is not going to be accepted. And that's what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala here is saying. وَمَا يَكْفُرْ بِالْإِيمَانِ فَقَدْ حَبِطَ عَمَلُهُ وَهُوَ فِي الْآخِرَةِ مِنَ الْخَاسِرِينَ. And hereafter here they're among the losers. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَلَقَدْ أَوْحَيْنَا إِلَيْكَ وَإِلَى الَّذِينَ مِنْ قَبْلِكَ لَإِنْ أَشْرَكْتَ لَيَحْبَطَنَّ عَمَلُكَ وَلَتَكُونَنَّ مِنَ الْخَاسِرِينَ. And we have revealed to you and the people before you, if you associate with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not going to accept your deeds, and you're going to be in the hereafter among the the losers. So this is very important, brothers and sisters. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he said, the best of good deeds, what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, look at this. So to tell you the importance of the Aqeedah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, ليس البر أن تولوا وجوهكم قبل المشرق والمغرب ولكن البر من آمن بالله واليوم الآخر والملائكة والكتاب والنبيين. He said بر, or true good deeds, are not the when you pray and you turn to the head, you turn your head to the east and the west, but it's believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the hereafter and the angels and the books and the prophets, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have even instructed the believers. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala instructed the believers who already believe to believe. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, Ya ayyuha alladhina amanu, aminu. All you who believe. آمنوا بالله ورسوله والكتاب الذي نزل على رسوله والكتاب الذي أنزل من قبل. Or you who believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and His book and the book that was revealed to His prophet and the books that was revealed to people before him. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, there are many ayat in the Quran that talks about this. For instance, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, he said, Al-Imanu أن تؤمنوا بالله وملائكته وكتبه ورسوله واليوم الآخر وتؤمنوا بالقدر خيره وشره. That believe, what is faith? Is that you believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the angels and the books and his prophets and the hereafter and predestination, whether it's good or bad. And these are, brothers and sisters, the basis of our faith. The basis of our faith is these 6 things. And these are the basis of Aqeedah. Is that we believe in Allah, the angels, the books, the prophets, the hereafter, and predestination, whether it was good or bad. So let's start to talk about what? Believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now, many people think, it's believe in Allah. I know that. I believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But the thing is, the problem is, many people innocently could say this, but when it comes to the actual belief and the application of that belief and what do you think that belief is, then this one people tend to deviate from what we expected to do. So when you believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, what is the very first thing you believe in? You believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He is the only person, the number one thing, He is the only thing that is worth you worshipping. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the creator, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is in control of everything that surrounds this world. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He is the all-knowing. No one knows the all, and that's so. Now, sometimes people will say, well, if you look at the stars, people could predict the future. If you could read my palm, people could predict the future. If you go to a soothsayer, they're good, and sometimes they could tell you real things. They could tell you the future. So this see what happened here. He might believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but what happened is he associates some other people with a description that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala only have given to Himself, that He's the all-knowing. Or for instance, when someone believes that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, for instance, Ar-Razzaq, He is what? The one who provides for all the people. Like what happened is he believes, or based on the way he acts, he believes maybe his boss is the Razzaq. His boss is the one who provides for him. But it depends on or he could worship other people. He could be worshiping a grave. He could be worshiping a son. He's a Muslim, but he worship a grave, or he worship a wali, or he worship the sheikh. See. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that's why one of the prime thing in believing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is what? That we only dedicate our worship to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَمَا خَلَقْتُ الْجِنَّ وَالْإِنسَ إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونَ مَا أُرِيدُ مِنْهُم مِنْ الرِّزْقِ وَمَا أُرِيدُ مِنْهُمْ أَن يُطْعِمُونَ إِنَّ اللَّهَ هُوَ الرَّزَّاقُ ذِي الْقُوَّةِ الْمَتِينَ. I created the jinn or the ants. What? For what? So they could worship me. I don't want from them provision. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will provide. And He is the all strong, the all powerful. So the thing is, so that's the very first thing that you have to think about when you think when we say I believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Ya ayyuha alladhina amanu a'budu rabbakum alladhi khalaqakum, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he's reasoning with us. All you who believe, all people, he is addressing everybody. Worship your Lord, who's what? Why worship? Why worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? The one who created you. So when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he said that worshiping Allah is because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created you. Did anybody else created you? Did the sun create you? Did evolution create you? You know, worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala who وَالَّذِينَ مِنْ قَبْلِكَ, and he created you and the one before you. لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ, so you could fear him. الَّذِي جَعَلَ لَكُمُ الْأَرْضَ فِرَاشًا, those who have made the earth smooth. وَالسَّمَاءَ بِنَاءً, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala who had built the skies. وَأَنزَلَ مِنَ السَّمَاءِ مَاءً, and he was the one who made rain fall from the skies. فَأَخْرَجَ بِهِ مِنَ الثَّمَرَاتِ رِزْقًا لَكُمْ, and he's the one who, and from that rain he provided for you fruits and vegetables that comes out of the earth. You know, فلا تجعلوا لله أندادا وأنتم تعلمون. Then do not associate anything with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and you know so, and you know that. Okay, you know, and this is pretty much the story of all the prophets of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, whether it was Jesus or Moses or Abraham or Lot, all of them. What did they say? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, وَلَقَدْ بَعَثْتَ فِي كُلِّ أُمَّةٍ رَسُولًا أَنِ اعْبُدُوا اللَّهَ وَاجْتَنِبُوا الطَّاغُوتَ. You know, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has sent the prophet to each and every nation. For what? To worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and let go of worshipping anything else. Taghut. Worshipping anything else is considered to be taghut. It's no, in which that is deviation from the true path. You know? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَمَا أَرْسَلْنَا مِن قَبْلِكَ مِن رَسُولٍ إِلَّا نُوحِي إِلَيْهِ أَنَّهُ لَا إِلَهَ إِلَّا أَنَا فَاعْبُدُونِ. And we have revealed to you on all the prophets before you that what? To worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that's the issue. But the problem issue here is that you surrender yourself to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and you believe that Allah, the only person that is worth your worshipping is Allah, and your dedication and your sincerity is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. فَاعْبُدُوا اللَّهَ مُخْلِصًا لَهُ الدِّينَ. Worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with sincerity. ألا له الدين ألا لله الدين الخالص. To Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is sincerity. You don't, yes, it's okay to, for instance, respect people, honor people, but the ultimate, who's in control? Rabbil Alamin. Who's the one who have powerful or what I think, how I operate, and how I function? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala repeatedly, that's the theme all over the Quran. وَقَضَى رَبُّكَ أَلَّا تَعْبُدُوا إِلَّا إِيَّاهُ وَبِالْوَالِدَيْنِ إِحْسَانًا. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he said, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have destined that you worship him, only him, and then after that take care of your parents. فَادْعُوا اللَّهَ مُخْلِصِينَ لَهُ الدِّينَ. And then call upon your Lord with sincerity. So, and that's why Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, حَقُّ اللَّهِ عَلَى الْعِبَادِ أَن يَعْبُدُوهُ وَلَا يُشْرِكُ بِهِ شَيْئًا. The right of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on us is what? That we worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and we don't associate anything with him. And part of that belief, part of that you believe Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is all powerful, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is all knowing, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala he's the one who deserves our worshiping, is that what? Is that you believe everything that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have obligated on us. Whether it was anything, our salah, our zakah, our siyam, our hajj, our everything Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have obligated on us, you believe in it. Yes, maybe you have shortcomings, and that's normal. Some people make mistakes, but at the end of the day, you believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that's why, brothers and sisters, it's like, for instance, sometimes you'll see people believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and then like, I don't think this makes many sense. No, that's considered to be a part of kufr. You admit your mistake, it's fine. Say, I don't do this. Like, for instance, people say, Wallahi, sometimes I drink alcohol, or sometimes a sister would say, I don't wear the hijab. But don't justify, don't say in Islam there is no hijab. This is considered to be kufr. Because that what will happen, you are disbelieving in something that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have obligated. And this is here we're talking about things that have no dispute over the scholars. Things are clear basis in the Quran. Okay? So that's the stuff that we're talking about here. Is the number one obligation that we witness that there is no God except for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We don't worship anything Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and we dedicate to him our worshiping. And that's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created us. He created us what? So we could worship him, and part of that faith, brothers and sisters, that we believe that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is in control. المدبر لشؤون الخلق. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he's control of all humanity. Everything that goes in the seas, in the mountains, in the skies. Who's in control of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? He is the one who's ultimately in control. Don't say it's motherland, or this is the evolution, or this has happened, mother nature, or all that jazz. No. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Maybe you could have scientific explanation, and that's fine. We can have science, and this does not contradict the deen. You could have scientific explanation to each and everything. Why the earthquake happened, why the rain would rain, why we have 4 seasons. Yes, you could have scientific explanation. That's fine. But that's who created these laws, who make these things function, who make these operate on a regular basis. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He is the one who is in control, and he's the one who have created these laws and regulations in all of the dunya. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, Allahu khaliqu kulli shay'in wa huwa ala kulli shay'in wakil. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created each and everything, and he's in control of each and everything. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, Inna Allah rabbukum alladhi khalaqa kulli shay. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he created everything. And he said, Yughshi al-layla ala an-nahari yatlubuhu hadith. He's the one who have made the sun would turn and the earth would turn. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have made the skies around us. تبارك الله رب العالمين. Glory to the one who have created all of this. And part of our faith, and I think this is kind of number 3 or 4, is that we believe in his names. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have names, and we call them the name asma wa sifat, the names and attributes. And we believe that there are 99 names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. These are what description of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told us of him. Is there more? Yes. But of what we know is the description of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, okay, is that we believe Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is, he has certain names. Like for instance, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he is all seeing. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is all hearing. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is all powerful. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is all knowing. But when we believe in these names, we believe in them, but we don't make them feel, meaning that we don't show how. We don't try to exemplify how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is all seeing. We know he's all seeing, and we know what seeing, the word meaning seeing is. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, لَيْسَ كَمِثْلِهِ شَيْءٌ وَهُوَ السَّمِيعُ الْبَصِيرُ. Nothing is like him, and he's all seeing, all hearing. Now, how is he? We know that how is he all seeing? We believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is all hearing and all seeing. Okay, we stop. How? We don't talk about this, because this is beyond our knowledge, and there is a lot of things that is beyond our comprehension. There is when you are a little kid, and your father and mother try to explain certain things to you, it comes sometimes beyond your comprehension. And the same thing for us. There are certain things we can't understand, or we possibly never be able to understand, because it's beyond our limitation. Because we judge based on things that we see, things that we have dealt with, things that we have experienced with, and we relate based on our experience. So how can we relate to something that we know nothing about? The knowledge of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala all seeing, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, فَلَا تَضْرُبُوا لِلَّهِ الْأَمْثَالِ إِنَّ اللَّهَ يَعْلَمُ وَأَنْتُمْ لَا تَعْلَمُونَ. Do not give examples about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows, and we do not know. So that's the problem here, brothers and sisters. The problem here is that that we take it the way it is. So the problem with many of the people who go into deviations is 2 parts. People in 2 extremes. People sometimes, the very first type of people who are what? The people who reject names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They say, well, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not have a leg, or Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not have a face. No, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, he has a leg, he has a face. But how is his face? How is his leg? We don't know. So we don't reject any attributes or description of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the other extreme is that those who are trying to exemplify how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have a leg, how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala his hand, how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala his face. No. So this is important, that we don't go into these extremes. We take it, we believe it, but we make example of it. And that's why one time a man came to Imam Malik, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala be with him, and he said, الرحمن على العرش استوى. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he rests in the throne. What does it mean? He rests in his arsh. He said al-istiwa or resting, or he said غير مجهول. It's known how someone's, or how when we say something sits, it's known. Why? Because thing is, the problem here, brothers and sisters, when we say I sit in a chair, a human being sit on a chair. But when we say, for instance, the nail is sitting on the roof, that's means something else. It's not a human being sitting on a roof, or along that. So the thing is, the word sitting, it depends on who's performing it, who is performing it. And the fact that we know of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, what He tells us that we cannot give examples. So that's what Imam Malik is here is telling us. Al-istiwa ghayr majhul. When we say something sits, is not it's not it's not unknown. It's people know what is the word sit. وَالْكَيْفُ غَيْرُ مَعْقُولٍ. How? We cannot comprehend it. Min Allahi. So الاستواء معلوم. Again, sitting is known. والكيف مجهول, and how we don't know. والإيمان بها واجب, and believing it is an obligation. والسؤال عنها بدعة, and asking about it is what? It's an innovation. Because this is not going to increase our faith or decrease it. This is we believe what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told us, and we take it as face value. And again, another Imam, his name is Abdullah ibn Mubarak. What he said, نعرف بها ربنا سبحانه وتعالى. Which is the way that the names of an attribute of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we know of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. بأنه فوق سبع سماوات. He is above his heavens. على عرشه, on his throne. بائن من خلقه. That he is separated from his creation. So this is what the belief of what Ahl Sunnah and Jama'ah believe in. Believe in that we confirm what is mentioned to us in the Quran, as far as the names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the attributes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the authentic hadith, and we don't exemplify, we don't say how, and that's the truth that we believe in, and this is the problem that many people tend to follow, in which that they would go into the extremes of rejecting or exemplifying, and that's the problem that many people fall into, unfortunately. So this is when it comes to the belief in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I hope that you guys have got the message. Is there any questions or concerns that people have before I leave within that ta'ala? Okay, so this individual, this person asked, can Allah have a son? No. Why is that? Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in the Quran, لَيْسَ كَمِثْلِهِ شَيْءٍ. Nothing is like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And when we say Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have a son, what does that mean? Meaning that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have human nature. And what does that require? Meaning that he has to have he's in need. Like, for instance, why do we have children? Because we need someone to carry our names. We need to take care of children. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not in need of anything. He does not need someone to carry his name. He does not need of a progeny. And the other thing is, it involves opposite gender and attraction. Does Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is like human being is attracted to a female? And he has these kind of descriptions that applies to animals, because animals, they mate. And Allah here, as if you're saying the creation of the world, he's mating. وَالْعِيَاذُ بِاللَّهِ. So this is something that is not accepted whatsoever. And this is something that throughout the religions of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, throughout, if you look at, for instance, Judaism, they don't believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have a son. They don't believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have human characteristics. So this is something that we Muslims take very have very deep foundation when it comes to these kinds of questions. Any other questions? Okay. خير إن شاء الله. So inshallah we ended, and inshallah بإذن الله تعالى we'll see you next week بإذن الله تعالى. جزاكم الله خير والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.